We got the road department, the municipal authority, and the planning commission. Everybody's here. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm the bad kid.
Yeah, I've got it in the summer. I can pass it out. Tomato?
Yeah, Kathy, what do you use to
Cider vinegar. Okay, that's another one.
more
Tomato, yeah.
That's more chairs.
And the committee is more. Might not be a short meeting. I didn't know it until he was going on, and he had gotten on Facebook.
Call the Board of Supervisors meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, I'll make an announcement. We did have an executive session on 2/11/15 regarding personnel issues. I'll go to public comments. Rick Walsh,
1 second, hold on, stand up, chairs.
chairman.
Chairman of this.
Anybody else? Everybody else good?
Chairman.
Sorry about that. Rick Walsh, 186 Main Street. On February 16th, I entered into an agreement with Hickory Telephone. We're excited to announce that we're going to have our own little TV station right here in Hickory. It's going to be a rural theme-based TV station. We're going to try to build the content around such programs such as the FFA, the horse shows, the Apple Festival, Covered Bridge, 4th of July Parade in Canonsburg, whatever. I'd like to use the exposure on this channel to also, expose some of the curriculums that are struggling to stay afloat at some of the public schools with the arts and what have you. I'd like to also highlight some of the local businesses. For instance, the Cindy Simmons farm to table thing that she's trying to get up. I mean, if anybody saw that little thing that was on Facebook about the gigantic barn and how many it seats and how beautiful the job she did with it, that's a half-hour program right there, just going through and showing it all. Something can be worked out with the school athletic departments and everything else, that'd be great. But I think there needs to be a news component also to it. So here is a copy of my agreement with the telephone company. And here is a letter to the Board of Supervisors. Let me read it to you. Well, let me read it and then I'll give it back out to you. One copy for myself. Dear Board of Supervisors, Transparency LLC and Hickory Telephone are proud to announce a partnership which will create our own community television station complete with local content and focused on the life in southwestern Pennsylvania. One of the areas of interest to be covered will be the performance of local government proceedings. I would like to have Mount Pleasant Township Board of Supervisors consider entering into an agreement to have all sunshine compliant meetings recorded and broadcasted for community viewing. This agreement would run concurrent with the agreement I have with Hickory Telephone, which is an agreement in principle for the first 3 months, which we called an adjustment period, which ends on May 31st, 2015. At the conclusion of that adjustment period, and if the project is agreeable to both parties, a more formal 15-year contract will then be drawn up. And then we have, these are just some of the things that need to be thought about. So it's like the high definition audio device that needs to be fixed in the room, Wi-Fi accessibility, the recording and/or streaming of all sunshine law compliant meetings. I think we have 2 there. Yeah, okay. The 3-month good faith adjustment period. So if something doesn't work for you guys, something doesn't work for me, we can either fix it or scrap it. We make that decision in 3 months from now. The 15-year contract is to broadcast on local TV. It's going to be a high definition station that Hickory Telephone is providing. And also it will be broadcast on the internet. Transparency LLC and Hickory Telephone are responsible for the transmission lines, the servers, the installation of the equipment, the software, the transcoding equipment, and the maintenance. If after 3 months, the adjustment period, Mount Pleasant Township agrees to the contract, we'd like to discuss the sharing of the cost of the camera, which would be mounted in the room. So it's something I would like you to think about. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that would be a good idea for the community and for everything. Jeff Donati.
I really don't have anything to signed up, but I have it.
Tracy.
Hello. I'm the person that's interrupting your normally scheduled meeting. My name is Tracy McDonald Kemp. I wanted to stop up and just say hello to everyone. I am actually running for the position of Magisterial District Judge. That's the open magistrate seat that sits there on 50. I've met a couple of you just kind of wandering around, but I felt like the bad girl in class because I was talking when the meeting was getting ready to start. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself and ask for your support. I am an attorney, I'm a professor also, and I'm a mother. Those are kind of my 3 roles. Right now I work at the district attorney's office. I've been there for 14 years. My job there is prosecuting the child sex assault cases, and I'm in charge of our special victims unit. So I know Lou, you're chief of police from that venue. I've been doing that for years, try lots of cases. A lot of times when I recognize faces, it's because I see them either as jurors or I see them in my other role, which I teach at Waynesburg University South Point campus. I teach an employment and labor law course. I've been doing that for 9 years now. My most difficult student was my husband. In order for him to complete the graduate program there, he had to take an employment law class, and guess who the only professor was? That was me. And so why I tell you about that is to say this. Why I'm interested in this position is because I think that my background and skills and ability fit it. I think I'm a very fair person. I've always been fair. I try to listen to both sides, apply the law evenly, and do fair things, the right thing. My husband, he's in my class. First day of class, I said to him, honey, are you gonna look at the answers to the test and am I gonna have to watch you? He said, yes. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a true story. Yes, I'm going to look. And the minute you leave the house, I'm going to be on your computer. And so I used a number system in my class so that every single student was numbered as opposed to having their name. Because I figured that way then I would have no idea who had submitted it, and the grade would be based off of the work and not because he was in fact my husband. All right, well, so you'd think, okay, whatever. But it did cause a family argument because he got a B and not an A, and his company was reimbursing based off of the grade. And so when he would say to me, you know, I can't believe you gave me a B, that means our household lost money. I said, I didn't give you a B. You earned a B. So I am a fair person. I do think I have the background experience. I do think I have the temperament for the position. I want to run for this position based off of my background and my experience and qualifications. I know how these races go and how ugly politics actually can get. I know how this area is and how Cecil is and how McDonald is. There are a lot of different divisive groups, and I have to tell you, I'm not part of a group. And I don't want to be part of a group. I would like to be fair to everyone, get along and hear issues of everyone. And so I'd ask that you look into my background, find out about my qualifications, skills, and ability, and hopefully you'll support me. May 19th is the primary. I am running on both tickets. I'll be running on the Democratic and Republican ticket, and I can do that even more so with your help. I will quietly, I promise, pass my petitions around, and if you have not signed a petition for anyone, for a magisterial district judge, I just ask that you help in supporting me. This just gets you on the ballot. You can do your research on me and decide to vote for me after you know a little bit more about me, but I would appreciate your support. So I have one, the Democratic petition, and it's hard to see, so I'll make a big D on it, and one, a Republican. I just asked if you would take them, and if you would, if you haven't signed one already, if you would support me. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you're independent, you can't sign. That's the Democrat.
The next, the pen kept skipping and I can't make out the name, but it's right before Beverly.
All that.
Okay,
Work together, Barry.
all right, well, who's gonna speak?
I just want to ask you a few questions, that's all. Down on Meadow Avenue. down
You have to, your name and address.
Aaron Marigo. Meadow Avenue, Washington, PA.
Leonard.
Leonard.
Makes a difference.
Borrego.
Like nine, whatever you want.
They couldn't hear you.
Okay, I'll get it. Down Meadow on the end house down there. Is there anything you can do about that garbage down there? There's 2 families there, there's enough garbage to fill 2 dumpsters up. Cats and dogs just dragging it all over the place. And there's no answer for it about it.
Hard to get.
Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't know where he's talking. What address?
Meadow Ave, I don't know, the end street, as you turn in at the store, there, go down the end street, right at the corner on the turn.
63, 163, 164.
Well, there's no more.
I'll look into it, but everybody's supposed to have garbage pickup.
You gotta pay the bill first.
He will look into it.
My second question I got to ask you, Dogwood Street. You go down the end and people put a fence up. It's clean against the road. You gotta pull clean out in the middle of the road to see. Somebody's gonna get killed there. Did they have the permit to put it up?
No, they don't need a permit to put up a fence, and they can put it right on their line, as long as it's back off of the road right away.
It's, I think, a foot away from the road, that's all.
You
You
say
gotta come
that's,
clean out in the middle of the road.
you say that's on Dogwood.
Yeah, when you go over, you'll see it, you can't miss it. Come down that hill there, down Meadow Avenue, you'll see it right there. I mean, they could move it back in the summertime, they don't gotta do it now, but you just can't pull it on there, you're gonna be killed over there. What is this?
Is that a new fence they just put up?
Yeah.
What I want.
It's the wooden kind. It's real high.
Okay.
Larry, do we have a requirement that has to be, is it in the front of their house?
It's all
Right on the
around the
corner.
house.
On the corner lot.
Is there a requirement that has to be lower in the front yard compared to the side yard?
I don't believe so, but I'll check on that.
Yeah,
I'll check on it.
Somebody's gonna get killed down there.
And
Beverly?
we need somebody to come down to help us clean up our town. It's a mess. There's garbage everywhere, just like Leonard Borrego said. I mean, there's cats and dogs. I don't even know if they even have licensed, the dogs that's running. The cats, I know you can't do nothing about them, but I'll tell you, they've been ruining all my porch furniture and everything.
Did we get her name?
Beverly King. I mean, the whole town really needs cleaned up.
Especially on that corner. They'll do something with it pretty soon.
I mean,
You got
one
that?
time she had so much trash, she had a whole garage filled with garbage bags. The one lady moved in, she paid the garbage, she took 20 garbage bags out every week to clean out the garbage.
It will be looked into.
Thank you.
Don Reed.
Don Reed, 25 Main Street. I got a question. I don't understand things. The attorney, John Smith, keep putting in the paper that he's representing Mount Pleasant Township. He's in Robinson Township. He's representing people against the township. What is our position with John Smith?
Good question. You can't answer that at this point.
Oh, you can't answer?
Not at this point.
Okay.
I sent it to him.
It just seems like conflict of interest there. somewhere.
Yeah. Donnie B.
Joe Coleman.
Bill Forrest.
Bill Forrest, 62 Baker Road. Two things. I know there's been, because I filed some complaints for two separate issues at the Calvin well site and impoundment. The first, as far as the well site, is there's just about nightly activity there after the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. time frame, according to the ordinance. They've got engines running over there all day long. The impoundment, they're there constantly. Now, I know that's under a notice of violation. Larry Shomi forwarded to me Range's response, and while that was awfully kind of them to do that, it's not my position to enforce township ordinances. So I just want to raise that and like to know, and would appreciate a response as to how you're going to address that, other than simply forwarding, forwarding me their response.
At this point, I don't think we're ready to respond. Kimberly?
Excuse me, Kimberly Staub, 101 Walnut. I also live by the Carter impoundment. I actually had Range Resources out today to my property. It is a 24-hour day, 7-day-a-week operation. I have trucks, I have generators, I have lights constantly. And I was just informed by Range today that they're gonna also be using it for the towered. So that means not only 27 days for the masters, I'm gonna have it 27 days for the towered. Again, I was part of that with the NOV, and I'm just wondering why the township is allowing this to go on.
You have any response to that, Neva? Since it's in court, or?
I mean, I've responded to you guys on that, and so has Chuck. Has given you your options.
Okay.
And I guess I'm asking is why is the township not issuing an injunction against Range to stop this?
I don't have an answer for you.
I've asked for the information. I was unaware of the zoning hearing board decision. I just got it yesterday and reviewed it. So I've asked for the information to see what all went through the process.
Sure.
And I've been looking over it, because I'd seen a memo that Chuck Means had wrote to the township, and I'm still trying to get accustomed to what Chuck represents the township on and what Neva represents the township on, and I want to talk to Neva about that also.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, move on.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't know to sign up. Is it possible for me to speak?
Yeah, state your name and address.
Steve Geyer. I'm talking about 15 Sawmill Lane. My mother-in-law lives on Sawmill Lane with 4 other houses, and there are private driveways that branch off of this road that has a stop sign and a name, and it's not being taken care of by the township, and I'm asking for it to be, to you to notify PennDOT so it could be considered a road, so it could be taken care of by the township. I take my children there every morning, and I feel that it's a dangerous, because the intersection there is extremely dangerous. And 2 weeks ago, I slid down right into the road. With my
You're
children.
talking Sawmill and Southview Road?
Yes. And my wife, with our children, the Jeep completely turned around, going backwards down the hill. And I notified the director of Public Works, and he informed me to come to the meeting today and ask you to consider it a road. It's got a name. There's someone from the township has placed a stop sign on it, and I don't know what the criteria is to make it a road. But I would be interested in your feedback as to what goes into designating something a road. I'm not asking for the private driveway to be
Sawmill Lane right at the intersection 18 and 50?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that, there are 4 separate houses, or 4 houses that have separate driveways that branch off of the road.
It's a private road, correct?
It's considered a driveway when I called, and I don't know, I've not been involved in designation of a road, but I've never seen a driveway that has a stop sign and has a name, and it has a group of houses that are supposed to band together and take care of it. And I just, it's really, there's significant potholes, it needs paved, it's a dangerous intersection, and my children are there every morning and every afternoon, every evening with my wife and myself, dropping them off at my mother-in-law's house, and I just feel that it's the right thing to do to ask the township to consider notifying PennDOT and making use of the road.
I used to live at 9 Sawmill Lane,
Yeah,
and I understand what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bill, is that a private road, considered a private road? When that was put in, that was considered a private road?
Yeah, it has been for a long time.
And when I was there, the gentleman who had the metal fabricating place had
Yeah.
all of the equipment and kept it very clear for the rest of the
Yeah, that gentleman
neighborhood.
moved,
Oh, yes. Well, he
So-
died, and, yeah,
and it's, you know, like the driveways are our responsibility, I completely
Yes.
respect that. It's just, the main road that comes up, it's where the old machine shop is, or was.
right.
Right there, going into the road, I just, when my wife's Jeep turned around and went down the road backwards with my 2 children that are under 2, I felt that that was the right thing to do to come here.
We'll have some further
We'll look
discussion.
into it.
So do I just come back next month, or,
Yeah. Unless you hear something before then.
okay? Thank you.
Uh-huh. Anybody else? Move on to new business. Motion to accept the following reports as submitted for the board's review: zoning officers, public safety, public works, planning commission, parks and rec, municipal authority, Midway sewage minutes, Cross Creek Valley region minutes, Washington County Sewage Council minutes, fire department reports, treasurer's report, and correspondence.
I'll make that motion.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussions? I just have one question. Under the electronic correspondence, Mary Ann, there's something about office furniture and heavy equipment available through direct allocation. What's that mean?
It's probably like a GPS surplus type thing.
Okay. Do we ever look at stuff on that? or-
We do.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we pay our bills, the invoices for the period 1/16/15 to 2/19/15 as presented.
I'll second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I also move to approve the minutes from the January 5th, 2015 organizational meeting that have been distributed.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
I'm just gonna note that I'm gonna abstain from that because I wasn't a member of the board, nor was I present at that meeting.
It's fine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And one abstention noted. Making a motion to approve the minutes of the January 21st, 2015 regular board meeting.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
I'll just make a note that I'll abstain from that one too because I wasn't a member of the board at that time.
Abstention noted. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the disbursement of $2,000 to the Parks and Recreation Board for the Easter egg hunt.
Which, at the January or the reorg meeting, we set the date for that already.
We did.
I'll
I
second
can't
that.
remember.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Make a motion to officially approve the addition of a 7-year, 250,000-mile extended warranty for the new Fighter Freightliner truck.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
I have a question on that. With that warranty, do we have to take it to a certified dealer or anything to have the repairs done to keep that?
Fighter right down here in Cannonsburg.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's why we went that route.
okay.
And I just wanted to make a note that the original amount we approved for that truck was $96,155. That included the automatic transmission. I changed it to a standard, so the money we save from going to the standard covers the extended warranty, which I think was a good deal. Other discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2015-E, a resolution fixing the tax rate for hydrant assessment for 2015.
I second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I move that we adopt resolution 2015F, a resolution fixing the tax rate for light assessments for 2015.
I'll second. Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to enter into an operating and maintenance agreement for stormwater management with Hickory DPPX LLC, Dollar General, provided the escrow check is received.
And it was.
It was received. I'll second that. Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I move that we enter into a developer's agreement with Hickory DPPX LLC, Dollar General.
I'll second that. Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I'll make a motion to approve the Cherry Valley Lakeview Estates Phase 4 subdivision, changing from duplex lots to single-family lots as permitted by the conditional use hearing dated 9/24/14.
The copy that you have is not signed and notarized by the owner, but the Mylar is, as you can see here in the upper right-hand corner. Okay? Okay. And everything else is the same as on the Mylar.
So you're saying you don't have owner signatures?
Pardon?
You're saying you don't have owner signatures?
No, we do.
We do?
Yes. Alex Paris signed it and it's notarized. Yeah, this was the one where we had the Phase 4 carriage homes, the duplex homes, and it was changed to single-family homes. And they allowed, the board allowed for setback variances to the sideline, side setbacks, and one other setback, the lot width, I believe it was. And that's all indicated on the plan.
And it was originally single-family homes to begin with.
Yes, it was single family, then it was changed to duplex, now it's going back to single family on smaller lots. And the planning commission approved it at their last meeting also.
I made a motion to that, seconded.
I'll second it. Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. I'll make a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement with Teamsters Local 205 representing the police department for the term of 1/1/15 through 12/31/17.
I second, but I have a question that I would like to ask about it. On Article 8 for vacation, would someone kindly tell me what it is that's missing at the bottom of that page? Because the last sentence isn't a sentence, and it needs something beyond what is there. And maybe Lou,
I'm not part of the bargaining.
I know you're not part of the bargaining unit, but the statement is this: if the full-time officer fails to work 2,000 hours in the preceding year, period. And there's no explanation for what it is that should come either before it or after it. And I don't know how to interpret that.
I think that means that they have to work 2,000 hours to have that 1 year of continuous service. Might be worded funny, but
So if the full-time officer fails to work the 2,000 hours in the preceding year, he can't be, or she can't be considered for vacation? Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just looking through my notes to see if I had anything.
well, who prepared that? Carl Bailey.
That's Carl. Maybe something got truncated or deleted in the editing. Because if what you read was the sentence, it's not a whole sentence.
It's not a whole sentence.
Something is missing.
Right. And I just caught it this past Sunday evening when I read it the second time, so.
Well, I read it twice and missed it, so.
Well, it's easy to do because it's the very last thing on the page.
Yeah.
And I looked over to the next part and it didn't make sense. I thought the next part of it might have been the continuation and the period should have been a comma. But it doesn't make sense that way. Can we approve it pending the revision or explanation of that particular portion?
Yeah, I would do it subject to clarification of Article number 8, because I think something's missing from that second sentence,
Yes.
for whatever reason.
This is a previous copy that I have, and it says the same thing. So we didn't catch it way back when either.
That happens.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know from what is the consequence of not completing the full year. Doesn't mean you don't get vacation, it means you don't get additional vacation, right?
But, I don't know. Okay.
So you're gonna amend that motion?
I made the motion, so I'll revise my motion to, motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement with Teamsters Local 205 representing Police Department of 1/1 of 15 to 12/31 of 17, after clarification of Article 8, Section 1 of the agreement.
A second.
Good eye. That's why we.
Pure chance that I caught that in reading it again on Sunday.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion to approve the request from Chief McQuillan to hire 3 additional part-time police officers. And this is to help fill out his schedule since we had a police officer got hurt stepping on ice and breaking his arm.
Is that how it happened?
That's how it happened. He made a traffic stop, got out of the car, slipped on the ice, fell and broke his arm right by the joint.
But was he able to finish ticket.
He wasn't even able to write the ticket.
That was a motion, right? That was the motion.
That was the motion.
I second the motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries.
I move that we approve the tax collector's 2015 hours as follows. May the 5th, 7th, 13th, and 15th, and October the 6th, 8th, 13th, and 15th, from 5:30 to 7 p.m., in addition to the Saturday hours from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
And can those be posted on the website?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make a motion to rescind the motion from the organization meeting regarding the appointment of Gary Farner and Denzel Backus as co-supervisors in charge of Public Works Department.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
I'll abstain on that.
Okay.
And in place of that, I move to appoint Supervisor Brian Temple to serve as the liaison in charge of Public Works Department.
I'll second that. Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Down to discussion items. Campbell, Durant, Deity, Palumbo, and Miller, PC, and Attorney Chris Gabriel with respect to township labor issues. My feeling is we need to move on.
Well, that may very well be, but we have a contract that was turned down by our Public Works Department that Mr. Gabriel is very familiar with, and I think we need the continuity that he provides.
I think that anybody could pick that up and move on with that, and maybe a fresh set of eyes would help.
I mean, I haven't been here and been involved in the process, but if this contract negotiation's been ongoing since 2012, I think a fresh new eyes and somebody else is much better than, if this is at a stalemate, and I don't know the reasons behind anything, I would much rather move forward with somebody else.
Well, I haven't heard the reason why it was turned down. We had a tentative agreement, and then it was turned down. Do we have any idea why that was the case?
Do you want me to say in public why I think it was, why he told me it was turned
No.
down? I could do that, but it's not necessary.
Neva is acting as our solicitor, and she is working on that. I guess it's the best way to put that.
It's the best way to put it.
Okay.
And
Well, this is an action that could have landed our employees a citation for bad bargaining.
it could have.
I don't, that's something that I would not want to see, but we had a tentative agreement.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we do not use Chris Gabriel for township labor issues.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
No.
Motion carries 2-1. Unfinished business. The Planning Commission vacancy. We all know when Brian was appointed, he resigned from the Planning Commission. And at this point, I would like the Planning Commission to come up with a recommended candidate. think that's who they gotta work with, and that's who should come up with a recommended candidate. Any comment?
Has there been anybody submit applications, or do we have any applications? I mean, I agree, when we appointed the last person, I know that group of applications, at least the planning commission made a recommendation to the board at that time on who they would like, I believe. Because I remember we had the candidates at the planning commission meeting.
Right.
So I would at least like the planning commission's recommendation if there's and I don't know if there's been any.
I don't think there has been any, has there, Mary Ann?
Or if we could
Spread the word that we have a vacancy on the planning
maybe
commission,
post something.
and we can post it on the website. If anybody's interested to come down to the township, fill out an application, and it'll go to the planning commission. They'll probably ask all the candidates to come in.
Like they did last time.
That's what they did last time.
Do you put that on the web? Jeff, on the web?
Mhm. So we'll wait till we hear a recommendation from them.
Sounds like a good idea, unless we wait too long.
As we know, the person who was cleaning the township building resigned. I've actually been asking around. We have a township person that's willing to do it. I talked to Karen today, and Karen said she would be willing to come in and clean for the $50. Whenever she comes in, that's usually once a month.
If she comes in, there'll have to be overtime, just overtime pay.
It's gonna take her 2 hours.
I'm just saying, that's just, you know, as an employee, she just has to be paid overtime.
I talked to several other people, and I didn't have any other interest, I think. And she's got the keys, she's got the codes. If she's willing to come in on a weekend and do it, why not?
That's right. I agree, yes.
I don't see any problem with that. She's here, I mean, we could have problems if we had someone else to do it.
I'd rather have an employee do it than.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked
Hire
to
a service to do it.
about 3 different people, and then today, I just dawned on me, I says, I wonder if Karen, because she's an employee. And I asked her today, and she said, yeah, she'd be willing to do it. So,
Do we see any problems, Neva, with that? No?
as you said, we have to pay her overtime, but,
Well, I was hoping to see if I had the rate, but
it's,
gonna be,
yeah,
that's $50.
yeah, I think so.
That's cheap.
So, I will,
$50 is cheap.
pardon?
$50 is cheap.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'll make a motion that we hire Karen Fine to clean the building, on a monthly basis.
Is she in the unit? No?
No. And we will pay her overtime rate.
If it is overtime. So you,
Yeah, it would be on the weekend.
yeah, but you're presuming she works a 40-hour week. If she, for some reason, doesn't work a 40-hour week, it's not overtime.
Oh,
So,
okay.
not that you're gonna pay her overtime rate, that you're gonna pay her overtime if it's overtime.
If it's over,
Yeah.
if it's overtime. Okay.
I just have one question before somebody seconds that. Is there an issue if she wanted to clean it some evening instead of on the weekend?
No. Long as there's nothing.
No, as long as there's not a meeting here?
That's whenever she wants to.
Okay.
That's what I told her. I said,
Your motion was on the weekend, that's
Oh,
why I
I'm
was
sorry.
asking the question.
we'll take the weekend down, we'll just make it to clean the township building.
Is that okay? I second the motion.
Motion's been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. I got a couple other things to bring up.
You kind of skipped over.
I have one too.
What did I miss?
You went on discussion items, you kind of went down to unfinished business. That's okay.
Oh, sorry. I did, didn't I?
That's fine.
We'll go back to discussion items.
Was there another?
Well, I have a couple things to bring up.
Okay.
One was, because this police officer broke his arm, and we're paying extra overtime, and we're going to be hiring these new part-time officers, and we're gonna end up with some extra costs that maybe weren't budgeted for.
Right.
And I was trying to think of someplace where we could save a little bit of money, and the one area that I come up with is, for the last quite a few years, people have gone to the PELRAS and the PSATS convention. And I think we have $2,500 in the budget for that. How about if this year we don't go? And we take that money and use it to cover some of those costs. We can pick it up again next year. I don't think missing it for 1 year would hurt us. Might help us in the budget.
What have we budgeted for those conferences?
I didn't bring the budget.
I didn't either.
Packet. I didn't.
$4,250.
$4,250. You haven't been there yet.
I know, and I'm willing to wait a year. I mean, I'm looking at the budget, and that's one place where we could do it, and we spend a lot of money on attorney for the hearings too.
If I was going, like I had mentioned, if I was going, I was gonna pay myself, so pay for myself, so. I'll look over the budget more. I didn't really, I mean, I looked over the original one, but.
Well, I know that the PSATS conference was very helpful and very informative.
I'm sure it is.
And I hate to see us forego the kinds of things that we can get there. And at our budget meeting, while I would like to go, I said I won't go so that you can. I would prefer to wait until next month in order to make that decision. I'd like to look to see if there's other places that we might be able to find it.
How much time do we have to cancel?
Oh,
I don't
that's
know.
an issue. That's an issue.
Because all the hotel rooms have been booked,
Yeah,
down payments have been made. He's got special training out there on Sunday that's been paid for.
When's the PELRAS conference?
That's next month. It's in March.
Who was attending it?
I don't think we had anyone.
Nobody.
Oh, nobody.
No.
There was a chance that Lou was gonna go to that, but
No.
I don't know.
Who was going to?
I was going to PSAT,
And you and Larry?
and Larry was
And
going.
me.
And Mary Ann.
I just think for 1 year it wouldn't hurt us, and that would help, because we were tight on the budget to begin with.
Oh, we are tight on the budget. There's no doubt about that.
And I don't think we can wait till next month, because we're gonna have to cancel as early as we can.
Yeah, we're still going to lose the deposits, right?
I have no idea.
I don't like the idea, but I will go along with it, Gary.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like it either, but, I don't know where else we could squeeze some money out, that's the only thing
Well, that's the thing, I would need to look at that budget all over again.
I went through it, when I picked up my packet trying to see, and we don't know, I don't know, Lou gave us some figures on what it's gonna cost, and that would cover it. So,
So did you make the motion?
no, but I will. I'll make a motion, and
Public comment.
we have to open it up for public comment after the motion, right?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that, in lieu of some budget constraints, that, the members of the township that were going to go to the PELRAS and PSATS conference forego those conferences this year.